Support for this and all the other podcasts on the Marketing Podcast Network is provided by Momento. Yes, you can use AI to make your job as a marketer easier. Momento is built to put the power of AI in your hands. It can write social media captions, have it watch or listen to a podcast and suggest, then automatically create social media posts to promote the show. Heck, it can even listen to a podcast episode, then write a poem about it you can use on your company blog. Go check it out. MPN listeners can try it for free at bit.ly/MomentoMPN. That's bit.ly/MomentoMPN.
Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I am, as always, your host with the most. I hate that. I got to change that up somehow. Anyhow, host with the mostest, Seth. Today, I have a good buddy of mine, Kim Coleman of Stranger Studios, of Paid Membership Pro, of, more stuff than I think I even know about. She and her husband, Jason, are very big in the WordPress ecosystem. Even so much so that Jason got into some words with the head honcho of the WordPress project, Matt Mullenweg. Actually, Matt went after Jason. Jason's a big teddy bear. And we all are like, don't pick on Jason. He's a big teddy bear. So we'll leave that one alone. But if you want, it's out there. So if you want to figure out what the hell happened, just Google it. It's out there. It's once you put stuff out on the internet, it's out there. So let me bring Kim in here before I get her more in trouble than we should here.
Not at all.
How's it going, Kim? How you doing?
It's good. I'm just here laughing through the intro because it was so fun. It
was. And so you work with your husband. God bless you. Seriously, my wife helps. Meredith helps me with Goldstein Media, but she doesn't work with me. You are partners in the business. You have been doing this for 15, 16 years, something like that?
Yeah, I graduated college in 2006. So 17 years working together. Paid Memberships Pro is in year 13. So
wow, you haven't killed each other yet.
Nope. We've had moments
it helps that he's a big
really,
teddy bear. It helps that he's a big teddy bear.
He's good.
I'm sure there's moments when you're like, oh my God, I need a break. Hence the reason why you took a break and you went to Tibet.
Yes, right? That was a great break.
And you got a break from him and the kids and all that and the doggies and all that. But that's, we'll go back into that a little bit, how that's one of the things about being entrepreneurs that, look, you can do eat, pray, love a little bit. As you said, you can go with your friend and say, I'm taking 3 weeks off and just going to go gallivanting around Asia, for crying out loud. That's awesome. It's a very Kim Coleman thing to do, I think. It's very like your kind of vibe. Like, I'm going to go explore.
Yes.
Exactly. So how did this all get started? So you graduated college in 2006 and you just jumped right into it.
Yeah, definitely. Jason and I had been doing freelance website development. We were finding jobs on Craigslist, taking any project we could. And he had graduated prior to me and had a job with a big consulting firm, Accenture. And when I graduated, we had a lot of projects lined up. And I had most of the skills myself and some weekend time from Jason to keep those projects going. I think I just looked at my life and I was like, this is better than getting a full-time job, starting entry level, being at the bottom of the list of people. And it was really what I wanted to do because it touched on so many aspects of what I enjoyed. Business, that was my major. Entrepreneurship was my minor. Creativity with the web development and design. So it fed all of those pieces of what I needed.
So you actually was entrepreneurial classes in 2006 because there wasn't anything like that at Delaware where I went in 2004 when I graduated. I was like, now it's big. Now it's like the thing. Like
even in high schools, I'm seeing entrepreneur classes, which I think is awesome.
That's really something you want to always encourage. I feel like it's a special breed of person that should do it. I think some of the classes and learning about it makes good employees so they understand what their bosses are going through, that kind of thing. So
that's true.
But so then it's a fast forward. So you're 17 years and at year 13 into it, you start Paid Membership Pro, which is like one of the best at least in my humble opinion, membership plugins for WordPress. It really helps you kind of segment your site so that this is for public consumption. This is for people who want to pay me something or have a coupon code, or what. It's a good way to lock up your site in a strategic manner. And
Yep.
so what made you pivot from that? And then eventually that's all you do. Well,
Yes.
that's not all you do, but I know Jason has his hands in an LMS now and all that, but but that's really your bread and butter is Pay Membership Pro.
Absolutely.
And you're not doing a lot of side stuff anymore, are you? We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Hey there, it's Jason Falls. If your company or maybe one of your clients sells to marketers, you look for advertising channels that guarantee business marketers are paying attention, right? Let me introduce you to the Marketing Podcast Network. You're listening to it right now. It's a network of podcasts all about marketing. So 100% of MPN's audience are marketers. Reach them by advertising on the Marketing Podcast Network. Learn more and find our media kit at marketingpodcasts.net.
The projects I was working on from 2006 up to Jason stopped his consulting job a few months after I graduated college. They let him take a 6-month sabbatical, unpaid. And he said, can I just try this? Can I go full time? So he and I were full time on that. By the time 2008, we had our first child and we had some birth complications.
Oh.
We were still doing consulting and all those things. My son was in the hospital. I was waiting for Jason to get off a call with a client, going to see my son in the NICU.
Yeah.
And we were like, this has to change. We wanted this type of freelance work so that our lives could be flexible. Here at the point in our life where we needed them to be the most flexible, we couldn't be. So between 2008 and 2011, we kind of more of our projects took on an e-commerce and membership type focus. This is really when, Facebook was big, but there weren't private communities. There wasn't a market leader in WordPress for membership. S2 Member was on the market. Wishlist Member was coming about. This is before MemberPress, about the time Restrict Content Pro came out. So everyone was kind of seeing this in their consulting projects, more membership focus, more WordPress as an application.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so you kind of saw the writing on the wall and you're like, let's prioritize stuff. And you went that way. So here's a question for you. I mean, we kind of answered this a little bit because you went to Asia for most of September. But what's the best thing about being an entrepreneur in your mind?
In my mind, it's being able to juggle home and work needs pretty seamlessly. Although people say, work-life balance, to me, that isn't fixed hours working, fixed hours doing your home life. It's knowing when you need to flex both of those things. So for me, it's that I can wake up at 6, get an hour of work in, triage with my international team, get my kids off to school, go to the grocery store, do a little laundry, and then sit back down and have some work sessions. So I will say I work after dinner some nights, not every night, but I think I keep it healthy by giving myself time during the day to shop when no one's shopping, to get things done, go on a dog walk, all of that stuff. Don't feel bad about working weird hours or weekends if you're flexing time during the week.
Oh, I love it. If I needed to do laundry, it's like I can just walk outside my office and throw laundry and come back, and then it's done. Time to switch it. I can do it. It's not like I'm on a call after a call after a call, which can happen, but I can set my own schedule, which I like too. It's just kind of cool. And then what's on the flip side? Because you said I can sympathize because my kid had complications at birth, was in the NICU for 6 weeks and all that stuff, and that kind of killed my entrepreneurial journey for about 1.5 years. I went to corporate, decided that I can't deal with that crap. It's a whole different ball game that I was not wired for. And so what keeps you up at night besides Jason kicking you?
Definitely early days. It was, will we make rent? Will we have enough incoming? Will people pay us in time? Now with the product type business, it's very stable. So I don't worry about that as much anymore, but I did have those. That was the flip side for me for many years. I think now the flip side is my kids see me working because I work when they're video gaming, and to them, their perspective is, mom works all the time. Also with our kids, because we work together, they see us having heated work discussions that they sometimes, when they were younger, they would interpret as mom and dad are fighting. And we've tried to show them we're not fighting with each other. We're discussing a work thing and we both care passionately about it.
And also a lot of times that's
trouble with a team member.
Yeah. Yep. And it's often with work things, you're arguing about it and it's there's frustration behind it as well, not with each other, but with the situation. So then you're already kind of fired up, and then you say something and Jason doesn't agree with you, and then it's just ugh. And now I'm sure the kids are more they're just discussing work.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think my kids will be entrepreneurs after what they've experienced with me.
Really?
Even though it seems to benefit their lives, I think they're like, I don't want that stress. I don't want that always on. They hear the negative sides of it, and I don't think they realize what other families' balance is like when mom's working for someone else or mom's outside the house.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool because, like, if the kids have like a Halloween parade or something like that, you both can go. It's not a matter of like one if only one's a entrepreneur and the other one's an intrapreneur or whatever in house of the company. Then it's all on the entrepreneur side to go. All right, you got to adjust your schedule. It's a neat little dichotomy there, and you guys still like each other. At least looking at you guys, and I see you guys at conferences and see you guys in person, you seem like you still kind of like each other, which is a good thing. It's hard.
It's so hard. We spend a ton of time together. So the break I had in September was nice. And Jason's going to take a sabbatical at the end of this year for 6 weeks. He'll still be home, but he's going to create distance from work in a way that, in the way he chooses to. I'm not going to try to control it, but we've had our bumps where the stress it created in our relationship, we questioned whether continuing to work together was the right choice, but we're on a good high right now. And we just check in and
And I think you're on a good track where you're like, you went to Asia you really got the hell out of Dodge. I mean, you went on literally drilled through the center of the earth, went to the other side pretty much. But, and when we're not busting Jason too much, he did, say talk to Kim over May because Kim hasn't been on as much. And I'm like, all right, but we're gonna probably smack talk you a little bit. He's like, I expect that. So I
try not to.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I can imagine, going to Asia, having some fun with your girlfriend and just unwinding is great. And hopefully Jason will have that opportunity to maybe not go to drill to the other side of the world, but actually leave the house. Because that's what I've always found with entrepreneurship is even when I take a break, I don't leave the house. I'm doing something else with the computer. And sometimes you got to peel yourself away from the computer. So, I mean, you didn't bring a computer with? Did you bring a computer with you?
I did not. No, I brought a Kindle and a phone.
And see, that's the way to do it. It's just saying, like, I'm off. If you need me, you can call me. Only if you need me. And also, I'm sure to say goodnight to the kids or good morning. Wait. Yeah. It's like 12 hours, right?
Yeah, 12 hours difference. That's the working with your spouse thing. I was saying, even when I go on a vacation, if Jason's with me, like no kids, right? Great. If Jason's with me, he and I are still ruminating on work things because they affect both of us, just the way any couple would of what their spouse's work is going. But go ahead.
It happens with me and Meredith all the time because it's my business, but she's ingrained in it. And I feel like that happens all the time. Like we'll go out on a date at lunch. She'll work in the afternoon one day and it'll be like, well, let's talk work. And I'm like, oh. But then what else do you talk about? And then you talk about the kid.
There isn't much else.
You talk about the kid in school or the dog and her training and stuff like that. It's life, and that's kind of the fun thing. So this can be multiple fold because you can say what you carry. The question is, what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time? Now you can do that from when you're in Asia. You can do it from when you're at home. You can do this a couple of different ways.
Is this a physical thing?
It can be whatever it could be what you bring with you mentally. You can go as deep as you want with this.
Oh, okay. I will go deep and I will say that it's definitely like giving yourself grace. And it's something I struggle with, but I think entrepreneurs are so driven. There's no end to your to-do list. There's no completing anything, So I think it's getting to the point where you can say like, that's enough for today, or I did enough yesterday. I feel satisfied with myself. We're our own worst critic, our own worst enemy. And there's no one, there's no one giving you a performance review. There's no one giving you a guidebook to say you're doing well or you're doing poorly.
That would not end good. That would be bad. Not that you perform badly, but you don't give your wife a performance review. But can you imagine? Jason says, Kim, I'm giving you a performance review. And you're like, you're doing what?
No.
you're like, no, not happening. Not happening. It's just, it's neat because I've known you guys for years and I've seen the evolution. And this is like you're one of the few podcast guests that I know pretty well. And I've seen the evolution of your business. And I mean, from afar, your relationship with Jason, like when you go to events, you tag team the events. You're not like, you don't hang on each other. Like it's like you're there, you're Kim and Jason, you're not Kim Jason.
Yes.
You can't really do that. You can't really mix those words up. I mean, it's kind of, but you also are a name brand, which is kind of neat because they know Kim and Jason Coleman are Pay Membership Pro.
Yeah.
So much so that Matt Mullenweg went for Jason's jugular. And I was very proud of you for not saying, "Don't mess with my man." You let him deal with it. I
had a few drafted tweets, but I didn't let them out into the world. It's that art of writing the mean email and not sending it, right?
Yeah, and let him deal
I got
with
it out,
too.
but I don't need to fuel this fire.
And I think we all kind of went at Matt because Jason's such a sweetheart. I mean, you might know another side of Jason that we don't know, but I'm saying
he is.
Outwardly, he's the biggest tay bear you know. He wouldn't hurt a fly. And someone went for his jugular, and we're like, whoa, no. There's plenty of other ass hats out there, and never get the explicit tag right there. But there's plenty of other ass hats, the WordPress ecosystem. Jason and Kim are not one of them.
No, and he's probably even more concerned, more committed to open source than like any product owner I know.
Yeah.
And he's more passionate about it in ways no one will ever see. Decisions we make, it seems like financial decisions all the time in business, but we make the one that leans toward being more open, being more publicly available, being more free, more often than not, because we're comfortable, we're fine. And that's what got all of us here with this WordPress community was that openness. It's sad to see it evolve and become more commercialized and more business focused.
It's awkward to say the least.
That's my shirt. Success is open source.
I know. I still need one of those shirts. Yeah. Anyhow, so I love this, and we could talk for hours. I'm sure, we do. When we go to these events, we see each other, we chat all the time. You guys are trying to do your sponsor booth, and I'm just yapping to you guys the whole time and all that stuff. It's great. But where can people find you? Where's your hangout online? Like, is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Ugh.
I'm trying to be more active on LinkedIn, but it's a challenge because I don't think everyone's come over there. So the best place is really X or Twitter. Coleman K83. You'll find me. But I'm also in the Make WordPress Slack if you need to find me.
You're everyone. Literally, if you're in WordPress, she's there.
Yep.
You're in every WordPress Slack out there.
I try to be.
Yeah, and you guys are very accessible. That's what I'm like about Pay Membership Pro. It's not like it's hierarchical. I mean, like, you guys are the owners, but literally some shit hits the fan. I'm like, Cam, something broke. And you're like, what? Well, let me fix it. Let me fix it. What happened? And like not always do you see it. The head of the company jump in and say, what the? All right, let's fix it. Not that there's any problems with the plugin, but plugins, it's open source. Crap happens all the time. So, and then people can find you at pmpplugin.com, right?
pmproplugin.com. You'll get there.
I was so close. Plugin.
Nah, you're fine. We need that domain.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put it in the show notes. It's a great plugin, great community. And I mean, and honestly, the base is free. So you can just get it, play with it. And then if you need extra support and stuff, that's when you kind of say, hey, here's some scratch. Let's talk and get stuff rock and roll. So I like your business model as well. Cool. That it's like, here's our product. Let us know if you need help.
Yep.
It's great. Kim, thanks for so much for being on. It's been so much fun. I'm glad we finally got you on. I've been talking about this for a while, so.
I'll rebook. This was great. It went by too fast.
It goes by fast. It always does. But I like keeping them around 17 minutes and so because
good.
They're digestible. They're not like these like the Twit network that goes for 2 hours. I'm like, it's literally the Sunday Times every Wednesday or every Sunday. I don't have time for that. Exactly. Anyhow, Kim, thanks for being on, and we'll see everyone next time.
Bye-bye.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Ian Truscott hosts a great podcast called Rockstar CMO. Ian, tell us what these fine folks will get when they listen.
Well, Jason, I'm no rock star, but I've picked up a thing or two over the last 20 years on my tour from sysadmin to CMO. And each week I chat with the true rock stars, my fabulous guests and chums, and share what we call marketing street knowledge to inspire our listeners in a rock star.
Amazing. Where can people subscribe?
Go to rockstarcmo.com, find the show at marketingpodcast.net, or search for Rockstar CMO FM wherever you get your podcasts.
You heard him. Go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.